Work now. There we go. I'm so sorry. I apologize for that. Oh man, that's embarrassing. That's what happens when you're trying to get on here fast and quick. Sorry about that. Whenever OBS resets, it automatically drops my mic every time. I have to put it back in every time. So let me start over, shall we? I'll start over again. Okay, hey, you're welcome to the broadcast, everybody, and thank you for Toby putting in there. Can't hear you because you didn't turn your stupid mic on, you moron. Yeah, apologize, man. But anyway, I want to talk about the flood rates. Okay, we got a considerable flood warning that's up here, flash flood warning here in the Hall County. Okay, this is a big deal, folks. Flash flood warning in there for Southern Hall County into north central Georgia. Okay, this goes until 3:15 right now. So some of these rainfall rates have been running 1 to 2 inches per hour, and I can confirm that. And there's flooding going on in this whole area. So anybody in the low-lying areas need to be very careful. Look at some of these rates, guys. These things are very, very high in here. I mean, look, wow, there's a 6. Over 6 inches of rain have fallen over there just north of Flowery Branch and into Oakwood right now with some of this rain. I mean, a lot of purple on here, man. This purple is basically 4 inches. See all this all the way down through Beaufort. So it is some very, very heavy rates. Now, the good news is this stuff is moving off. That's the good news. Let me go back over to reflectivity here so you can kind of see this and moving off toward the east there. So that's the good news. But again, we could still see some additional rains and stuff here for this afternoon. So we because that cold front boundary is still kind of sitting in the area. So again, we got to watch closely there. There's the current watches that are up. They did add some additional counties. If you didn't notice that, they did add some more counties in here to that zone. So again, we're going to have to watch out for some additional flooding. So they added these counties over in here because of what was happening back downstream. So big problems for the folks in North Georgia. Now, I know some folks over there, like down from somebody from Rome posted on my Facebook saying, I haven't seen a drop. Well, again, that's the nature of the beast when you're dealing with this kind of weather, guys, is the fact that when you're dealing with thunderstorms, especially these like this in this time of year, it's a little bit different. They're convective in nature, right? So we're not talking about a big cold front with a big rain shield coming at us or a warm front with overrunning going on. These are convective. So what we do as forecasters is we look at the parameters in a specific region, okay? So I'm looking at available moisture, I'm looking at CAPE, I'm looking at lift, I'm looking at trigger mechanisms, and we can get a ballpark idea of where things are going to happen, but we don't know for sure, exactly to what specific location until things start to fire. And then you got to look for things like outflow boundaries from other storms and where they kind of pop up in different zones. So it does make a big difference there. All right. So if you are in the Hall County area, looks like we're getting the worst of this. I hopefully should get the rain out of my backyard. Right now I'm sitting at 2.56. I need to bring in, that's one thing I'm going to put on my to-do list. I've got an ambient weather system, and it is out on the web. So I need to bring in my own gauge features in here as well to get in here for when something like this is going on. So I'll put that on my to-do list here for today. So pretty good. I'll tell you one thing with these storms, like going through Pendergrass and coming through Brazelton, coming in through Jefferson, there's some very good, some lightning with this as well, man. My dog was kind of freaking out with some of the lightning that was coming by, but this was not quote unquote technically severe, but the rainfall rates have been just so high with this. I mean, just really, really impressive here. So when I look at these rainfall rates, it's all in purple. Okay, so like let me freeze here. These are the rainfall rates, 3 inches an hour. That's what some of these rainfall rates are being picked up on the radar. Over 3 inches. Again, this is precipitation rate in any given hour. This is very, very high. So we're talking about a very juicy, moisture-laden atmosphere. We knew that. That's why we had the flash flood watches up. We had areas last night, Swanee and Alpharetta, both got close to 4 inches of rain before this stuff even moved on in here. So again, it's going to cause some problems downstream for some of this. Now, we'll say the good news for Lake Lanier, which is still down, almost 5 feet. This is going to make a nice little dent in it. That's for sure. With that coming in here. So that is a plus. But just folks, I know the interstates have probably been a mess. I'm sure my backyard's a mess as well with some of the flooding going on out there. And so folks, just please be careful out there. So I do appreciate that. And it looks like the algorithm is, I went and took the 24-hour streaming channel down. I stopped it. But I can see from the views and stuff, we're not getting my audience, which is, I don't know if I want to keep that 24-hour channel if I can't go live and get my audience in here. That's not a good thing. So I'll have to figure that beast out. But for the meantime, for you 17 people out there watching, you guys can help. All y'all. Y'all do the likes. I'm hoping all 17 you guys are already subscribers anyway. And help that algorithm out a little bit, man. It's a real pain in the butt. Now, what we're going to see here for later this afternoon with the daytime heat, we're going to probably get some additional storms that are going to fire along that boundary that we're going to have to watch out for. So, again, there's the map right there. As you can kind of see this thing kind of, oscillating like a snake through that area there. So that is what's being our trigger here. Now, we've got... there's also a little bit of influence, I think, from some of the moisture that was thrown out of the Gulf from our tropical system, which is gone, by the way. It's over in Texas and is no longer being tracked. But it was throwing some additional moisture that was kind of moving up this way ahead of that boundary. So it's kind of funneling a little bit. So that may also be a continuation player here of augmenting the rain rates that we're kind of seeing, because these are very, very high. It's just... it makes me wonder what we're going to have here for an El Nino season coming up here, going into the fall and winter with I think we're going to have some heavy rainfall rates. I am concerned about the flooding problem potentially as we move out of the summer and get into this. So it is going to be one thing y'all just need to pay attention to and help us out here. Now, I will say this, once we get our 24-hour, once I get my weather computer and I get the settings done correctly, what I'll be able to do for these live broadcasts is be able to basically flip a switch. It'll go over to the 24-hour channel, it'll come on there, and then the notifications will go out on the weather app. So it'll say, hey, we've gone live. So that is going to be the big upgrade I hope to hear with this once we get going. Again, you guys coming on board here. I got Steve, we're up to 25 viewers now. I'm going to need every last one of y'all to help me out, man, because I'm having my algorithm fits right now. So please go ahead and make sure you hit that like button if you can. Help me out there. All right, so again, here's where the current watches are right now. All right, now, last night, the Weather Prediction Center was kind of highlighting this area going to the Carolinas for the heavy rain threat, and that remains for today. Now, the good news is this is not going to linger for the rest of the day. That is going to be a plus going into the weekend. Weekend's not looking all that bad. Hey, Austin, good to see you there, brother. Good to see you. Yeah, just doing a little live here for right now. Just want to when I saw that considerable flood threat came up there for Hall County, that kind of made me a little nervous. So, yeah, we're going to have to watch and see what happens. The good news is it does appear these storms, they lit up pretty quickly. In fact, let me do this real quick. I want to show you all this. I want to show you all the satellite view here. So let me get that up real quick. Just stand by for a second. Let me get that up for you. And you're just going to notice how these storms just exploded in a very big way. And just boom, there you go. Look at that thing, really just kind of lit up like a Christmas tree. Get that studio mode here. Well, I'm fixing something here. I don't know why that counter thing got a little messed up there, but I need to fix it. So let me fix that real quick because it's going to drive me nuts. Transform. There we go. All right. So, but you can see how the storms just kind of blew up. I mean, just pulsating up, going over there. So when you ever see the bright cloud tops like that, that's indicative of the higher cloud tops. But a lot of moisture laden air with this stuff, man. And it's interesting. It fired up really along the boundary. We had 60s on one side of that front, and we had 70s on the other side. So it's definitely riding along where that frontal boundary is. If you see you see how that stuff is moving. And then you look here at the weather map. You see where that front is? It fired up right along that boundary. That's where it's following. So, yeah, not a big surprise that's where that happened. And I think a lot of you folks up there in Northeast Georgia may not even get out of the 70s today, to be honest with you. But I mean, you see here, look. I mean, it's 67 degrees there in Gainesville. Down toward Atlanta, they're in low 80s. All right, you got 68 up in Cornelia, 68 up there in Toccoa. And we're in the 70s and 80s on the other side of that front. So clearly that's clearly additional trigger mechanism there for that heavy rain that's moving through those zones right now. So some folks may have the question, hey, why are they having the the warnings, they like the flood warnings here going on so long. Well, what has happened here is that the when all the stuff's got to run off, it takes a little while for it to kind of get to where it needs to be. So as a result of that, that's why these warnings will be for a longer period. So like the big watch area here, which you see kind of highlighted there in green, that goes until 4 o'clock. So we got another 4 hours and 26 minutes on that current warning out there. All right, hey, go ahead and go ahead and let me know where you guys are watching from. If you want to chime in there on the chat. I see we got Willard Locks who says he did my audio. If you just came in and you caught the beginning, you probably caught the no audio there. So hopefully folks will take this live. That's also probably the other problem is I came on without my audio working properly. So that was so frustrating. So frustrating. Anyway, you got to do what you got to do, right? So is anybody here watching that's currently in that flood zone area? If you're in those counties there, like Hall County and going into the other counties that you see kind of rotating there at the bottom. So we're talking Hall County and then we're talking Gwinnett. And I can only imagine what the interstates look like. That usually when they get this kind of heavy rain, they can cause some very serious ponding, not to mention a lot of potential accidents and stuff out on those roadways because of the heavy rain. Got Toby watching from Flowery Branch. Good to see you there, Toby. I see you. I'm good. I love to see. You know one thing I got to give YouTube credit, man. They actually light up. The number one, number two. They give me the I know who my avid watchers are, and it's good to have you guys on here on this. But I'm telling you, man, I'm really excited about the end of next month. I'm going to be about 60% to that weather computer that I want to get. And although the software stuff I've got is pretty good, it's going to allow us to do so much more stuff. I mean, especially from a production standpoints for our different graphics and stuff. But when we get events like this, it'll make it a lot smoother for us. All right, so let's go back here and look at these rainfall rates again. I want to go back over here and see how they're doing as you kind of see where the lightning currently is. I got the lightning kind of holding its own right now. Not really doing a whole lot there. And let me go over here to the rates here, precipitation accounts. They just made a big upgrade on this, an update on this app that I am using, and it's pretty good. I got to give it kudos here. So again, looking over here for these rainfall rates, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is very, very impressive to me. You just don't see 4-inch an hour rainfall rates. They don't have it. I mean, this is 3.5. So this to me tells me that some of that tropical moisture that got flung up through Mississippi and Alabama yesterday, it was riding along that boundary and definitely enhancing the rain that we're seeing in these areas. I mean, some very, very impressive rates here. 2.5. There's a 3. Looks like the highest is up here. There's a 3.9. And thank you for that new subscriber. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Yeah, anytime you guys can subscribe, it'll help that our counter out. So if you haven't subscribed, please do so. All right, and you see 3.8 up here, 2.5 up here. So these rates are very high. Now the good news is the storms are moving. Okay, but even then, even though they're what's interesting is that they're moving, and had they be like a normal 1 to 2 inch rate per hour, it probably wouldn't be as much. But the fact that it's jumping that high. It is really making for some problems here on these. Let's check out the echotops here and see what the tops are on these storms here. I'm going to stop this here. Hold on a second. So these are pretty impressive. As you can tell on the satellite imagery, I can concur this with the radar. 49,000 feet. That's pretty good. That is very good. And that's a pretty good high storm there. So, and this is a flood average. This is your internal flood rate here. This kind of tells you, compared to like a 20-year flood, this is like equivalent to a 19-year-old flood, 23-year flood. That's what that is. It's called the average recurrence interval. Okay, thank you for that new subscriber, by the way. Thank you. And I still have not brought over my other program so I can start doing it, but I will do that today. I promise you, I will put that on here so that when people subscribe to the channel, I can acknowledge you, because I don't have that feature brought over here yet, but I'm going to do that today. I promise I'm going to do that today. But this just shows you how rare this heavy rain event is. I mean, look at that, 37-year. Wow. I mean, that's very impressive. Very impressive with this. Now, one thing you're not going to see with this is probably any kind of hail problems with this. Hail's not an issue with this at all. So here's the base reflectivity. Just some very, very high rainfall rates. So if you're out ahead of this, we're talking over toward Commerce and Nicholson, Danielsville. You guys will probably be getting in on this action here real soon. As this is kind of moving almost due east. So this is going to go into over toward Hartwell and Elberton. You guys are going to see some pretty heavy rains coming through your area. Now, it does appear to me that it has picked up in intensity a little bit. What was happening earlier is we were getting rains out ahead of the stuff where the rates were pretty decent. And this stuff here does not look like it's settled down just a little bit. So it's not quite as bad as what was coming. So just know that Jefferson, you're going to get hit pretty good here. Arcade. I think this is going to stay to the north of Athens. So anybody watching from Athens, you guys are okay here at the moment. I did put over on the Facebook page. If you guys have not checked out the Facebook page, go ahead and do that. Oh, here, let me go ahead and put this out here for those who are watching. If you haven't done it already, I want to make sure you guys have this as a possibility. Our weather app just had a major update and includes power outages now. That was a nice little update they just added there. So we've got power outage. I got a power outage map on there as well. So that was a nice thing to kind of add. That'll come in handy during severe weather season as well as even the winter months if we get any kind of rough weather out there. So I'm putting into both apps, both links there in the chat if you guys want to download the weather app there. And if you're not a follower on Facebook, I want to make sure you guys can get that too, because Facebook's when I put all my general stuff here as far as my normal broadcast stuff and my graphics and things like that. You guys might want to check that out. So I'm going to give you the link here for that as well. So if you're not following there, you can do that too. So a little bit of cross promotion. You got to do that, right? And what's really fun is that the channel is getting close. We're getting really close here to, oops, I didn't mean to shut that down. Where did you, oops, hold on a minute. I shut down my chat. I can't see y'all. Oops, where'd it go? Oh, it must be over here. I think it's over here. Nope, where you at? There. Sorry about that. I was like, I didn't mean to close that. Okay, is that we're getting real close to 100,000 on the Facebook, and thank you for that new subscriber, by the way. Thank you very much, sir. We're getting really close. Obviously, we're working to get toward 15,000 here on the YouTube channel. So, one thing I will tell y'all, it's been very difficult for me from trying to get the sales part of the advertising part of this thing going. I've been hitting HVAC companies like crazy. I had one actually respond and said, we're not interested. At least they took the time to tell me. But I'm having a hard time with that. So basically it gives me one thing I have to do. I have to work even harder and make this thing even bigger. We have to get 100,000 on YouTube. We have to get 200,000 on Facebook. We got to make this thing so big and so powerful and have such a reach that no business in North Georgia will not want to advertise with us and support you guys out there in the YouTube universe on what we're trying to do here with this 24-hour channel. I'm telling you, when it gets up and going, and I've my friends who are doing this in other markets, you guys deserve it. I think you guys are going to love it. It's going to be absolutely great. So who else we got out there watching right now? I see we got, go ahead and put your names out in their chat there and let me know where you're watching from. And let me, if you got any weather questions, please put that in there as well. I like to chat with you guys a little bit. And I will have to crack the nut here as far as I think there's a couple of things I need to do when I do these lives or before I launch the lives, as far as some hashtags and some other stuff that I do, like with the normal videos, recording videos, that I need to help the algorithm out a little bit better. So that's going to be on me to do to kind of help this stuff out. So anyhow, let's go back over to the radar. Let's go back over here. Let's check out some of the cameras here. We'll look here. Yeah, Blairsville's looking pretty good. Helen's looking a little wet. They've had some pretty good rains there. But Blairsville, you guys haven't got a whole lot here so far today. There's the overall Helen shot there. You guys can see that. And looking over toward the UGA campus, they got some heavier rains coming in. If you're over in the Athens area, you might get a glancing blow. I don't think it's going to be quite as heavy as what I'm seeing so far. So just watch out for there. I think I'll stay to the north. There's the Dahlonega campus there at UNG. Obviously, the camera's a little wet there. Did they get that camera back up? It's still down. That Dalton, it's not dark. That's the Dalton camera still down. Yeah. I'm not sure when they're going to get that back up. There's Sky Valley. And let's look down. That one's down right now. So anyway, all right. So here's where we're sitting right now. I'm looking ahead. I'm waiting to see if there's going to be any additional potential flash flood warnings out ahead of this over in this area. But it does appear that this activity has decreased in intensity just a little bit. I will say this much. What's interesting with this boundary being in place, my pressure at my house on that, because there's high pressure up here to the northeast, is been building in this way, and my pressure's been coming up all morning. I'm at 30.21 inches, which is basically indicative of high pressure moving into the area. So yeah, it's interesting that high pressure is building in, but we got this disturbances that are riding along this stationary front causing us all kinds of headaches there. Hey, we got Exhibit Obedience. Hey, Greg, watching and listening from Kennestone Hospital in Marietta. How you doing, Marietta? You guys are sitting pretty good there right now. Let me go back over to the weather map here. And you guys might get some more stuff later today. But right now, Marietta, you're looking pretty good. No problems right now. But you guys could get some more rains later today and into tonight. So the rain chances remain elevated for today and for tonight. They do come down for tomorrow. Now, what's going to be interesting tomorrow is I'm waiting to see what the 12Z done, the new models that'll come in here right now that are chewing, see what it does for tomorrow's rain chances, because I think they're going to come down a bit, and I think we got some scatter storms on Sunday, but nothing severe. That's going to be the good news there on that. So looking back over here toward the east in Alabama, I'm not seeing anything new over here that's going to cause us any problems with additional flooding. This stuff just kind of, like I said, blew up along that boundary. And none of the models really caught it. I'll be honest with you. None of them really did with that. So again, look, I mean, it just boom, just explosion of storms. Because you look, this goes back to 6 o'clock this morning. It starts basically when I started and did my first update this morning. It was very little there, just a couple of things, and just boom, it just exploded. A lot of moisture with this stuff too, guys. So it really just kind of shows you that, we can look at the models, we can look at the stuff. And I try to tell folks, don't pay too much of attention to them where, it's putting a model here. It gives you a general idea, Now, one thing that the models were kicking out was that later this afternoon, it was trying to build some sort of like line that would move through here a little bit later. So that's something we have to keep a watchful eye on, is to see if we get any afternoon showers or storms to come in after this. But for right now, we're just dealing with the flooding risk. If you guys have heard anything, as far if you're in Hall County or any areas there in Gwinnett County that have been getting a lot of the heavy rains and stuff, y'all be careful out there with this. And like I said, I'm sure some of these interstates have been a bit of a problem here. Again, the watch, if you guys didn't see, if you're new just coming in here, these counties were added here this morning because of what was developing. So the watch used to just drop at Banks County, and that was it. But they did add these other ones like Walton, Oconee, and heading out to those other areas there just to the east there. So again, just know that this will end tonight. The watch goes until tonight, and then we won't have that watch again for tomorrow. So that is going to be much better for us. Oops, not that one. Go back that one. Yeah. I have let you know that I have decided to stick with 2 of my radar systems. I've gone ahead and retired Radar Omega. I'm not going to use that one anymore. I'm going to use this one right here, and we're going to use the 3D one, which I don't have into this update right now. Again, if you're new to the channel, please help us out. Give us a thumbs up if you can. We're averaging about 4 minutes and 56 seconds per viewer. And if you haven't subscribed, please join our weather family here. We're a growing family, growing business, and be good to serve you guys in the future. And that's the more important thing I want to tell y'all is the El Nino that we're seeing. And there's no such thing as a super El Nino. I know those who watch me regularly know that I preach this, but we are going to have a very strong El Nino this year. Now, what do I think that means for us here in North Georgia for this coming up fall and winter? I think we're going to see more events like this one, where we're going to see more potential for flooding and heavy rains because of the enhanced subtropical jet stream that's going to be there. And then, of course, everybody wants to lock on the fact that typically in the El Nino year, it's colder in the south and better opportunities for winter precipitation. I will say that it's cooler naturally because it's just raining and cloudy most of the time. But if you got precipitation there and you get any of these cold outbreaks that come on down, yeah, then you're looking at potential for winter precipitation. And I will be doing my official winter outlook come October. I'm going to wait until I get about 3 months out and wait till it gets closer so I can take a good look and see what El Nino's doing, what what's going on in the Northern Pacific at the time, and just kind of get an overall feel for the overall dynamics here going in for the winter. So I will look for that come October. I will have that out for you guys. All right, let's see here. Let's go back over to the radar here. That's a large box. So I'm looking at the one thing I always look at, I always tell you guys this, is I look at the lightning trend, and the lightning trend is dropping. So that tells me the storms are moving into a little more stable air mass a little bit, and that is allowing these storms to weaken a little bit. So that is a plus there on this. And as the storms weaken, their rainfall rates also typically start to drop a bit. So let's go back to, I want to go back to the accumulations here. If you didn't see these, look at that one hole. you think that I'm going to go on a limb here. I'm going to say that this area in here is going to fill in pretty good with some of that rain that's moving through that area right now. You kind of see that. But where this stuff really got concentrated was right through here. Alpharetta, Swanee, Gainesville, Cumming, Flowery Branch, Buford. Looks like I'm sitting at 2.58 inches here so far, 2.74 for the event. So looks like I'm gonna come up just short of 3 inches. Now here's a good thing you want to do. If you have one of these weather stations, if you have a weather station, by the way, let me show you something. I want to show y'all something here. I'm going to zoom in real close. I'm going to use my house as an example here, or my location. Okay, so I'm just inside the Hall County line here. So that's showing 2.68, and my rain gauge is showing 2.58. Very close. So that's, you can see if your rain gauge at your station is doing well by comparing it to the whatever the radar is showing, and then comparing it, and I can say, okay, the radar's doing a good job. It's pretty accurate. So I just ascertained there by doing that to say that, yep, the rainfall rates look right. Now let's go check some of these rates up here in Oakwood. Look at this, 6.1 inches, over 6 inches. I mean, a lot of this fell into the lake. I mean, it did fall. A lot of this heavy rain fell into the lake, which is really good to see. 5.2 inches there. Getting down here to the south towards Swanee, almost 5 inches, 5 1/3, 4 1/2, 4 3/4. So again, some very high returns on this. I want to take a look at something real quick. Just bear with me for a second while I look this up. I have to look it up. I want to see what Lake Lanier's levels are doing live right now. Lake Lanier's current water level. Let's see what it looks like here. Let's see here. Currently sitting at 1066.36. All right. Now this is, boy, it did make a jump. Oh, that was a nice, I got to add this. This is a pretty good website. I just found this. It's lakelanierwater.com. I don't know. I've never seen this one. This is a new, this morning it was at 5.06 and it jumped. Wow, that's impressive. Okay, well, we'll have to watch that closely. I don't have it in here for you guys to see, but it made a big time jump here, just here in the last little bit. Yeah, stick that from yesterday. Yeah, that's like a half a foot and just a short amount of time just from this morning. So that'll be interesting to see what all that runoff does and see how much Lake Lanier comes up here. Because the reason why Lake Lanier has not come up, it was down. The lowest it fell during our drought was down to about 5.5 feet. I think it was about 5.5 feet. It did recover a little bit, but then we kind of got into where we're getting normal rainfall. So it's just been kind of holding its own. It hasn't really had a chance to go back up to full pool. So we're up about a half a foot since yesterday so far this morning. And I got a funny feeling it may come up another half a foot. I think it may come up a full foot in just one morning heavy rain event. I think it's going to come up a little more than that. So I'll definitely keep an eye on this, and I'll post something on this on the Facebook page for you guys to check out. Hey, if you're new and you're just checking in with us here, we're kind of watching these, what's been issued here, a considerable flood risk here across North Georgia, specifically into the counties of parts of Cherokee, Dawson, Forsyth, Fulton, Gwinnett, and Hall counties, in those areas. Okay, those are the areas that just got blasted this morning. You're going to notice down here toward Metro Atlanta, didn't really get a whole lot here. just a third of an inch. Very light rainfalls from overnight here. There's one that was almost an inch there, but generally a lot lighter. But you could clearly see what part of North Georgia got blasted here with some of this heavy rain that's moving through here for this morning with this. Could you show 24-hour rainfall totals for around Metro Atlanta? Okay, that's what I'm doing right now. This is all the rain going back since for the last couple of days. And you clearly see where the heavy rains have pretty much fallen. You had this little batch here, another one near Rome, and then this big old swath right through here. So very impressive by summer standards. That's a pretty good swath there. I'm on Friendship Road near 985 Flower Branch. Chuck at 4611 says he's had 2.77 inches of rain so far. Well, thank you there, Chuck. Appreciate that. And I'm pretty close to you. I'm at 2.58. So it looks like y'all had a heavier rains just off to my west a little bit. So I appreciate that. Hey, if you're new to the channel, make sure you give us a like and hit that subscribe button if you can. And I appreciate you being part of our weather family as we continue to watch what's going on here with these storms. And well, I'm not going to be on here too long. I just wanted to, when I saw that considerable flood risk come up there, if you have anything to report in your area, if you've seen any flooding, please put it in the chat. And I will do some more homework on my lives as far as YouTube's concerned. I'm going to have to work on that a little bit more. So right now, the heaviest rains are coming into Homer. I would say going up 85 right now is probably a mess. So heading up toward Commerce and Carnesville and Livonia, pretty heavy rains moving up 85 right now. Looks like the rains have come to an end for Brazelton for the moment. Hopefully I don't get a whole lot more because my backyard likes to flood pretty badly. I'm not going to be cutting the grass back there anytime soon, that's for sure. Get a little bit of light rain down toward Athens and Watkinsville, Carlton, Elberton getting some decent rains. But the heaviest rains are up here. And if you look at the color palette, you notice it's coming down, and notice the lightning dropping off. So that means that the stable area that was ahead of it, that high pressure ridge is weakening it as it continues to move to the east, and thus the rainfall rates will continue to drop, which is good. I want to see that. So let me go to the precipitation accumulation rate. Let's look at the rates again here. Yeah. Oh, look at that. There you go. See that? There you go. That's a good thing to see. See the rates really drop off there? Quite a bit. All right, that's good. So our old, we could blame that on our old friend, the wedge. It's a weak one, a very weak one, but it's there. I noticed it this morning when it was 60s on one side and upper 70s on the other side of that front. So the storms flared up right along that stationary boundary. It flared up right on that boundary right there. And then as it moved off toward the east, it moved in a little more stable air, and it's weakening those storms. So the flood risk there is going down. So what does it mean for you guys here for the rest of it, for those counties that are still under that warning until 4 o'clock? All that water's got to run off somewhere. So if you're any of the neighbors or any of those areas there that have, those creeks that that like to flood a lot, or streets that like to flood a lot, just be careful out there, guys. All right. You got to be careful with this kind of stuff, because more people drown from flooding every year and everything else. We had deaths in Texas just last week because of flooding out there, but they got even a lot more than this. I mean, they were getting like 12, 13 inches of rain and stuff. So the only positive, one big positive on this is I want to see how much Lake Lanier comes up from this, man. They got dumped. I mean, right over the lake. That's going to bring that lake up quite a bit. I'm looking forward to seeing what the bottom line on that's going to be there for those guys today. All righty. All right. I think we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go stay on here for another 3 minutes. Anybody got any weather questions? I'm not going to shut down until I see any questions out there from anybody. When we came on, this stuff was going full tilt, and I was worried about it. Oh, guys, it's going to continue to be flooding going east, and it did start to weaken. I'm like, thank you. Anybody got any other kind of questions I can ask for you guys while I got you on here? I am yours to ask any questions. I'm looking. Nobody got any questions? Nobody? Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and go. I'm going to go ahead and get my 24-hour channel back up and running again. And I'll have my afternoon update here on YouTube on the streaming channel. You guys will see that when it's back, when I figure out how to get it back up, because I've never taken it down and brought it back up again. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. All right, you guys take it easy. Again, I'm looking forward to next year. I really am, because next year at this time, we're going to have this 24-hour channel, and I'll be able to just hit a button on my stream deck. It'll flip it right on over here, and we'll be able to go from there, push out the stuff. Is the rain over for Hall County? Well, I will say it's over for now. Okay, it's over for now because let me show you the current radar here. All right, so we still got some rains there falling. Got some rains coming into Jasper and Talking Ridge, and Dahlonega getting a little wet, obviously. You still got this activity here toward the east, and we still got daytime heating. So we still got a juicy air mass out there. We still got that boundary in place. So we could see some additional rains, which is the one thing we don't want to see in areas that are already flooded or the grounds are already saturated. So the areas that have been hit with this heavy rain so far today, if we were to get a repeat or another round of heavy rains coming in here, the flooding would just be tremendous here. So it is, again, that bullseye in that zone right here. We do not need to see any additional big heavy rains specifically in that area for sure because of the flooding problems that we've had there for this morning. So hope you got your question there. Anybody else? All right. Anyway, that's going to do it for right now. You guys take it easy, and we'll talk to y'all again later. But like I said, what I was saying before, I'm looking forward to next year when I can do some automatic switching. It's going to be great. So anyway, we'll talk to y'all.